Okay, so these are the supplies you're going to need. You're going to need colored pencils or markers or crayons. A piece of paper, printer paper is fine, or your notebook paper is also fine. A quarter, preferably a quarter, or something small and round. A hot glue gun, but be sure to have somebody help you with the hot glue gun. Scissors and a skewer, a stick, or a pencil for your base. So you want to start off by making whatever paper you're using a square. So you can either follow how I folded the paper to make it an even square, or you can use a ruler, whatever works best for you. I put that cutting board on I covered up my surface with the cutting board because the lines on the cutting board were getting in the way. However, you can color in your paper, so you want to color in both sides of your piece of paper any way you want. You can put something under there to give it a texture. You can get leaves from outside and put the crayon on the side and rub over the leaves so it gives it texture. These are going to be your petals to your flower, and it doesn't matter how you color this. You just want it to have color. So make sure you color in both sides. You can use a combination of markers. You can do watercolor. If you have watercolor, watercolor would be beautiful. So I only did this showing you what I thought you would have at home, but if you have art supplies at home, get creative. Do it however you want. Just make sure the paper is colored on both sides. If you're using watercolor, of course, you're going to have to wait for it to dry. So then you're going to want to cut 4 equal squares from your paper. After you cut the 4 equal squares, you're going to fold it like I'm showing you here. And it's important, I'm showing you that the top of the triangle is the open parts of the paper. Because we're going to cut it off, if you cut off the folded end of the paper, nothing stays together. So I've learned that because of course, I made a mistake. So I needed to make sure that I told you the right thing to do so you didn't make the same mistake that I did. So you need to make sure, again, when you trace your quarter, if you see I'm putting the corner as low onto the bottom tip of the triangle, but the quarter is still on the paper, and then trace the circle part of the quarter. And remember, you're cutting off. See the part that I cut off? That's the loose ends of the paper. There's no fold up there. So the top of your triangle needs to be the open, loose pieces, not the folded part. I hope that makes sense. And then you're going to just cut a small little tip from the bottom of cut the other little tip off of the bottom of the triangle. Well, it's not a triangle anymore, but then you want to follow this cut exactly like I'm showing you. If you don't do it this way, your flower won't work properly. So one of them you're going to cut 1 piece off of, then another one you're going to cut 2, and then another one you're going to cut 3, and then you're going to cut 1 in half. The other half, there's 1 half that you don't use. I threw it off to the side. For the first 2 sizes, so the 1 petal and the 2 petals, you're going to wrap very tightly around your small skewer and just shove them together. Excuse me. Now for the other ones, you don't wrap them. You're going to take your finger and scrape them to give that nice curve effect on the petals, and then you're going to cross over 2 of the petals. So where the cut is, you're going to join those 2 and fold them over. So if you look here, those 2 end pieces overlap each other, and that's how they get glued on. So that 4 petal saw became a 3 petal. And for this part, if you just saw, I cut down my little triangle. Don't be scared to cut off a little bit if it's sticking up too far. I do it a couple of times because I don't like the way it's sitting. And don't overthink this process because trust me, I overthink it all the time. And it's supposed to be kind of messy. It's a flower. The petals aren't perfect. So don't feel like it has to be exactly perfect. And I promise you'll love the way it comes out. Even if when you're making it, you think that you're going to hate it, it's going to be awesome. The first one I ever did, I was like, this is not going to look good. It looks awesome. So see, I'm opening up the hole a little bit more here. Then you want to make sure you stick your glue nice and tight. If you're using a hot glue gun, make sure somebody's helping you. For the stick, I just colored in the stick with some crayons. You can use markers, you can use paint. You don't have to color it. If you're using a stick from outside, it's brown and earthy, so it's perfect. Then you want to find a nice spot where you can kind of tuck it in and glue it into the petals. Then this is the little leaf that goes on the side, so I just quickly grab some green crayons, and then you cut out the shape of a leaf, and then you're going to glue it onto your stick, and bam! There is your flower. So I do hope you make these. Thank you so much for watching.